For over 11 years, Little Divas Balloon Decorating has turned events into experiences, and celebrations have been turned into parties. Let Little Divas worry about making your event the best that it can be while you relax and enjoy it. Any event you can imagine: birthdays, anniversaries, weddings, family reunions, graduations, celebrations of life. Any event that you can possibly imagine, Little Divas can bring it to life. They specialize in balloon sculptures, cake table archways, and doorway arches. Get a hold of Little Divas right now and make your celebration, reunion, or business function one that people will never forget. Call 606-791-5616. That's 606-791-5616. Or visit them on Facebook.com/Little Diva Party Decorations and see for yourself. Of course, delivery is always available for a slight additional charge. Little Divas, it's where memories begin.
The following is a production of Sloan Studios. You know the podcast. Now it's time for the Mountain Mysteries Gatherings, a unique look inside the world of the Mountain Mysteries. This is where you learn a little more about the Mountain Mysteries episodes and come together to talk. It can be intense, it can be goofy, but it's always fun and mostly always interesting, even if you're rewatching Chris make a fool out of himself. Viewer discretion is always advised.
It's all about love and connection. You know who that sounds like?
Yeah, I do.
It's kind of a little bit shocking.
And I could see a figure, an outline, and it stood right there at my door and wouldn't come through.
Hey, this is Stacia Underwood Gullett.
I'm Josh Preston.
This is Amanda Collins.
I'm Dave Newsom, and I'm listening to these Mountain Mysteries.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I will be the last to fall. I won't shed a tear for them to see. And I won't have your name to call. 'Cause I will be the last to fall.
With over 24% of the 1.9 billion square acres in America alone, the mountains that so many people call home are also host to some of the most incredible mysteries in the world. The missing, the murdered, strange creatures, unexplained lights, and sightings of unidentified objects. These stories may be strange, they may be sad, they may be odd, but they are mysterious. These are the Mountain Mysteries Gatherings. And now, live from the Pantry Studio, broadcast to all time zones around the world, with listeners of the podcast in the United States, Canada, Germany, Norway, India, the United Kingdom, and more. These are the Mountain Mysteries Gatherings. Now, your host, Chris Sloan.
Well, I'll just tell you, if it got any more by the skin of my teeth, I would have ate it. Yeah. So anyways, running just a bit behind this evening, but I hope that you guys are doing great. And I hope that this week has been a little better than last, even though I think what happened last week, at least in this region, is going to linger for some time. We are working on getting Stace to come on with us, but she has been dealing with something. Well, I'll just come out and say it. I don't think she'd mind a really bad case that involves a younger child. So as quickly as she can, if she can, she'll be on this evening. But with that being said, I want to welcome you, and thanks a lot for coming in. And love to get some thoughts on what you thought about the Junko Furuto. And I'm going to try to monitor chat rooms as well as do everything like that. But you know how that goes with me. Just kind of all over the place with it. I can tell that is probably one of the most heart wrenching episodes that we've done so far. And this next one is probably not going to be a whole lot better in terms of just the content alone. And as soon as I can get up there to it, I'm going to tell you exactly a little more about that and some other things that we've got coming up here. Our next episode, which actually drops at midnight to my night, is let me get back over here. There we go. Can you imagine, most of you guys that watch this are parents, having a child, and let's say that child's 14 for the sake of argument, and she starts dating somebody, and the person she starts dating is, I don't know, let's say 43. Does that not get your walnuts roasting? I've got so many questions with just that particular part alone. I got a word for that, I think. Her name was Kellyanne Bates. She was from Britain. Very pretty girl. By all accounts, kind of person that lit a room up every time she walked into it. She really was. Her parents, they kept this secret from her parents for 2 years. But they noticed changes in her personality and her behavior, of course. And they did that pretty quick. She used to be into sports, school activities, extracurricular stuff. You get the idea. And then she lost all interest in sports. And she lost all interest in the things that she used to enjoy, that she used to love doing. Well, the next most logical phase for that is, or the next question for that is why? If somebody all of a sudden loses what the interest that they had in something else, if they lose all interest in it, I can't help but think that there's a reason for that. And there almost always is. Everybody goes through bouts of depression at some point or another, and with reason. For a lot of people, it's the loss of a loved one. For other people, it's something having to do with that. Or, maybe it's the loss of something that you held very dear in your life. And look, it could be an animal. It could be something of that nature. It could be something like that. I am so glad that you made it on.
It's been
How are
a
you
rough night,
doing?
let me tell you.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, it has been all the way around. We're going to talk about, if you want, we'll talk about that in a bit. But abuse is brought up in the chat room. Yes, abuse can bring on depression. And that is exactly what was the case here. See, this guy actually met this 14-year-old, and at the time he was like 42, 43. He met her when she was 14 because she was apparently babysitting for a friend of his. Well, at first, of course, as narcissistic, predatorial pricks are, he treats her good as gold. He's a perfect gentleman. Now, that's not to say that everybody that treats you good is going to be a jerk. No. But he went a little overboard. I mean, she was a kid. She's 14. Offense to anybody younger watching. I'm just saying, come on, 14 and a 43-year-old. Well, sooner or later, one thing led to another, and they started dating. Again, there's another word for that out there. It starts with statutory, actually a phrase. But one thing led to another, and they noticed that she started coming home with bruises on her. Well, now here's the kicker about this whole thing. As soon as they found out, they found out 2 years into this. Well, she was 14. Of course, 2 years makes 16. Why don't the mom and dad go after her? Why don't they just go crazy on him? Because in Britain, the age of consent is 16. In most territories in America, matter of fact, I think about all of them, it's 18. I mean, yeah, there are circumstances here and there. I get that, but I mean, seriously, what 43-year-old is going to, Yeah. What happened after that will make your stomach turn. Hear the podcast episode. You can find it on Apple tonight. It'll drop at midnight, a little bit after. By the time you wake up in the morning to make your drive in or to start your breakfast or something, you'll probably have it. But you can subscribe to it just about anywhere that podcasts are found. But it is episode number, and I get the numbers mixed up as we climb up there. It's episode number 56. It's called Sacred Flames, the Mountain Mystery Story of Kellyanne Bates. Dear, what has happened? What is happening with you?
I had an emergency call, so I had to run out, and I'm just coming back through Lexington now. So we had a child involved in this one, so it was kind of one of those touchy
Is
kind
the
of things.
child okay?
No, it's a attack. So
How far would you say that you are from home, or from where you can?
we've got in a hotel for the night. We're what, about 15 minutes, 20 minutes? I'm losing him.
Okay, I'm sorry about that, folks. I was having trouble getting mine to respond. So stay whatever, then we'll put you on just as soon as you get in. But our prayers are with the child, and definitely, if there's something that we can do to help, we're going to do that. So as quick as you get in, just just jump back on here. But yeah, apparently there's a lot of things going on there, and also we hope to this evening be able to use the portal, even if it's also brief. But this is a perfect example. Sometimes things come up, life comes up, and we don't really catch it. I did want to give a big thank you to someone named Shelby Conley and the Toyota manufacturing team in Georgetown. Remarkable bunch of people. Shelby is awesome. Just love her to pieces. And um, guys, thanks so much. I found out the other day that a lot of Georgetown or Toyota of Georgetown, Toyota manufacturing is watching the gatherings and listening, I hope, to the Mountain Mysteries podcast. And I can't tell you guys how much I thank you for that. And you guys are awesome. You do a heck of a job. Of course, they build the Camrys, and I'm not sure if they build something else, but I know for a fact they build the Camrys in Georgetown, and that's some of the best cars on the road. So if you're driving a Camry, yeah, you're driving something that was built by some of the fans of the Mountain Mysteries and the Mountain Mysteries gatherings, or people that enjoy it. I'll say that. So I'm very grateful for them, and I'm very grateful for all of you all tuning in and watching. Updates on what else is going on. One of the next stories that we are working on. It is not quite as intense. I'd kind of like to run that by you. Of course, episode number 57. It is going to be a really good one. The name of it is actually The Telltale Ghost. Most homicides in America are committed by somebody that the victim knows. That's why so many times investigators look first at immediate family, be it a husband, a wife, a spouse, a sister, a brother, something like that. You get the idea. So it's one of those things where this particular story has a hell of a twist. And the twist of this story is the fact, I swear I'm kind of leery to say this because you guys are going to think I've lost my mind. But this is even coming from the authorities. This was in the mid 70s, but they say that her ghost actually led police to her killers. No joke. So when I heard about this, I thought to myself, are you serious? I mean, that's what I'd want to do. I've always said that if somebody took me out, I'm going to come back and haunt them. It's done. It's over with. I'm going to come back and yeah. But apparently, this person actually did. Now, she was actually a Filipino lady. Her name is Teresita Basa. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I've not had a lot of time to do a whole lot of research on that, but Teresita Basa. I'm sitting there thinking to myself, wait, are you serious? And when this was brought to my attention, I really looked at the person and I went, right. Okay. But I mean, most of the time, you got to admit the only kind of clues that the victim will give up is what's on their person in forms of DNA, in forms of some kind of strange marks or something like that. I'm getting a message from Stacy right now. Said that they put the family in a hotel and asked for the priest's help. The child is 5 years of age, and she is coming to me right now via messenger and said, the child is 5, asked for prayers for little Kelsey. Spirit box came back and said demon got her. And she had claw marks on her back, on the back of her neck, all the way down to her little legs. So let's pray for everybody. A 5-year-old child. You know, the analytical part of me automatically goes to thinking, exactly how did this happen? I mean, don't get me wrong. It's one of those things where how it happened doesn't really matter right now. What happens is the fact that this child and her family get help. What was it already there? Did they just move in, or did somehow or another it manage to get in? How did it get in? What's going on? Stace should be back on with us, I'm thinking, here in just the next little bit. So if you will, just kind of bear with us, and we will certainly bring her back on. And if she's watching right now, thanks for the update. We love you. Be safe coming home, and we can't wait to have you back on here. And I do appreciate, I'm seeing in at least one side of the chat room that this thing actually will pick up. I'm seeing a lot of prayers there, so I appreciate that. This is beyond life happening. I'll never forget what Lorraine Warren had told me once when I was able to interview her. What her husband had said about this. The fairy tale is real. Devils exist, angels exist, God exists, Satan exists. And our destiny, our very souls, all hinge on one choice. Who are we going to follow? For me in this place that I live in, for me in my house, we serve God. We serve Christ. I follow him. Years ago, when I went to church, I haven't been in, I couldn't tell you when, but I had a pastor, and his name was JB. Great guy. A really, really, really good person. And anyway, he told me once something that stuck with me, and this was back years ago, but it always stuck with me. He said, you're a heartbeat away from eternity. Well, when you put it like that. But I did eventually elect to follow God because I love him. And people say, well, how do you love? Well, it's really simple. I love him because I don't deserve what he's done for me. And yet I get it anyway. I got it anyway. You know, when mom and dad died, people say, well, it's okay to be mad at God. I wasn't mad at God. I had him for 47 years. That's a lot longer than a lot of people. I knew my parents. I got nothing but love and support from them and discipline. Yeah. When I had it coming. got my brother. It's kind of hard not to be thankful for these things. So hopefully Stacy will be back on here with us in a few moments. And if she is, yes, we will go into, well, let me say this, if she's okay with it. You have to understand what she does, and I've seen this firsthand. I've been with her when it's happened. It drains her. It is like literally sucking the life out of somebody. This drains her. We went to look into something, and it wasn't a haunting, it was more of a seeking answers kind of thing. And she had to stop. And her husband and I sat there with her and kind of got her, for lack of a better word, recharged. But this, she's not only gifted in the sense that she can do what it is that she does, and she would be so much better again to explain that to you than I would be. But I can tell you she's very empathic. She can sense somebody's and discernment. She can tell you when somebody is, well, for lack of a better word, full of it. So it is definitely something that does take a big toll on her. So hopefully, she just messaged me again, as maybe you heard. She said that she'll be there in like 7 minutes. So just kind of hang out. I know dealing with me can be quite boring, especially when my soapbox has already been exhausted. Sorry. But the soapbox, what we was talking to, which was back to the child, the 14-year-old child, Kellyanne Bates, from Britain. And when you hear this, you're really probably going to blow a gasket. And I can't say I blame you. If you'll bear with me as I check other forums or other chat rooms, I'm sorry. I'm not even sure which one this thing is on. So I'm just going to kind of go with it. It's really something that's absolutely crazy, and getting all kinds of messages and stuff from different people. And I will respond to you, I promise. Just, yeah. As soon as Stace gets on here, because this is why she's a co-host, because she's good at it. She's great. Love having her around. But we actually go into production with not the Kellyanne Bates thing, but the Telltale Ghost, which is just downright freaky, I think. Teresita Basa, we're going into production with that. Probably Saturday or Sunday. It's going to be something that I don't think that you're going to want to miss. At least, it reads like something right out of a Stephen King horror novel, or maybe an Edgar Allan Poe story. How it all unfolds, and how, you can imagine that most of these investigators are like, you got to be flipping kidding me. Really? Am I seeing this after they probably pissed themselves? Pardon my language, but the disclaimer at the front may contain, whatever. It's crazy. It's going to be one of those that I'm actually going to have some fun with, outside of the fact that she was a murder victim. So I know I am getting some messages elsewhere about what Stacey's going through and what she's been dealing with. The spirit box apparently said, and she was dealing in a case with a 5-year-old child. And she said the spirit box came back and said, quote, demon got her. And she had claw marks on the back of her neck all the way down to her legs. And they are actively recruiting a priest. So again, she asked for prayers for little Kelsey. So if we can get those prayers and keep those prayers coming, that would be completely awesome. Because these things are real. These things are very real. Okay. And like I said, I'm going through and I'm looking at all this stuff as much as we can. Okay. So she should be here in just a few seconds. But keep in mind, the episode that's releasing tonight at midnight, it's going to be the one about Kellyanne Bates, the girl from Britain. She never lived. I don't think she didn't live to see her 18th birthday. And the guy, wait till you find out what he did. It is going to make you sick to your stomach. And then, of course, after that, we'll go and begin production. And next week, we'll have one on Teresita, whose ghost apparently led police to her killer because they got him, they tried him, they convicted him. And this was in America. She was born in the Philippines and came over like sometime in the 60s, I guess it was. More details will be available on that. So with that being said, it's just going to be one of these episodes that's just going to blow your mind. I've got no doubt about it. Tell you what, I'm going to step out for a second because I literally just got back when we come on. And when we come back, hopefully we'll have Stacy on and we're going to talk to her and see if she feels like opening up that portal. I've got to be honest with you, though. If it were me, I could understand why that may be a not so much right now, especially after what she just got done dealing with, but only she can decide that. But we can throw the offer out there right after this. You know, for over 11 years, Little Divas Balloon Decorating has turned events into experiences, and celebrations have been turned into parties. Let Little Divas worry about making your event the best that it can be while you relax and enjoy it. Any event you can imagine: birthdays, anniversaries, weddings, family reunions, graduations, celebrations of life. Any event that you can possibly imagine, Little Divas can bring it to life. They specialize in balloon sculptures, cake table archways, and doorway arches. Get a hold of Little Divas right now and make your celebration, reunion, or business function one that people will never forget. Call 606-791-5616. That's 606-791-5616. Or visit them on Facebook.com/Little Diva Party Decorations and see for yourself. Of course, delivery is always available for a slight additional charge. Little Divas, it's where memories begin. Okay, so we're back with it. We've talked about a couple of different things. I can tell you that hopefully with any luck soon, Stace will be back on here because I know you got to be tired of just hearing my mouth run. But when it comes to some of the cases that you deal with, or at least I assume that you're dealing with like this, I can't help but think that takes some kind of a strength. You know, dealing with a human haunting is frightening enough, but when it's non-human and intelligent, that has just got to scare the daylights out of you. Or at least so I would think. So hopefully we are going to hear a little bit more about what's going on, how she came to find this out, and maybe we can all say prayers for this little child that is involved in such a thing. And then, like I said, if she wants, then we can open up the box. And, well, that's probably a bad way of putting it. We can open up the portal and see. Yeah, I'm reading comments on here now, sending prayers for Kelsey to be freed of the evil. Prayers for her release. You know, here in a couple of weeks, we are actually going to have, wow, Bill Bean. I've known Bill for a long time. Now, don't get me wrong, he doesn't live anywhere near me. But Bill is a spiritual deliverance minister. He's performed several exorcisms. And I can't help but wonder if maybe, of course, you know, if Stacey's got a priest, you know, I can talk to her about this when she gets back on here, but I can't help but think to myself that maybe, just maybe, this is something that he could possibly help with, if I'm not mistaken. So we can look into that and kind of go from there. But we've actually got him coming on probably in a month, something like that. He's going to talk about what got him started. He's going to talk, and this is the same Bill Bean that has been on A Haunting and all these other I don't know. I call it ghost TV shows. So I can't help but think that maybe he could offer some kind of help. It certainly isn't going to cost us anything to ask. I'm actually speaking with people right now that are sending their prayers, love, and respect. So I'd appreciate it if you did too. And I'm waiting to get an update. For all I know right now, she very well could be going inside and getting logged on. This was one of those that we almost missed altogether tonight. Just because there's so many different things that are happening and so many different things that are going on. It's not even remotely funny. And I had no idea that this was happening with her. So I can't help but think to myself, well, would it have been better to take tonight off? Yeah, maybe not. But I did want to tell you about these episodes that are coming up. And I wanted to talk to you about, and I was thinking that I'd be able to get her on pretty quick. But you got to give her hats off for helping a family and helping a child. OQP, only quality people. That's what it's about. Stace has never been somebody that has been into drama or anything like that. She's always very kind, very sweet, very loving, very laid back. So I just can't help but wonder where the progress stands on this and what she's doing and how she's handling it herself. And let's not just forget to pray for Kelsey, but also for Stace and the other people that are involved. So with any luck, that will happen. I'm not sure at this point, really, if we are going to get her on. I am going to send her a message and see how close we are. And hopefully she's on her way in right now and she'll be joining us here in just a few seconds. So with those being said, anybody in the chat room, if you've heard the Mountain Mystery episode on Junko Furuto, we had comments on that thing from overseas and everywhere else. It was actually I was wowed by it. And many people from just all over were there, and they were listening to this. And I started getting these messages and comments on different posts that we had done on it. And most of these people I didn't know, but they had talked about how heartbroken they were. It was a heartbreaking case. And the next one that you're going to hear tonight is a heartbreaking case. What's the most disturbing thing I have ever read or learned with the Mountain Mysteries? That's a lot. And yes, absolutely, you guys feel free to ask any questions you want. I'm pretty much an open book. The most disturbing case? Wow. That would probably have to come in a three-way tie. I'm going to say the most disturbing case that I ever did was April Pennington. The most disturbing case. And then a very, very, very close second was Junko Furuto. Dwayne Lovelace also ranks up there. Anytime it involves, especially if it involves people that I know. But, even though I didn't know Junko Furuto, just the horrificness of that crime, of these punk kids at the time doing what they did. It is absolutely enough to make you sick. And the one that you're going to hear tonight on Kelly. Yeah, it'll make you want to wring some necks. Stacy's with us now. Good evening, my dear. Thank you so much. And I hope that you're safe.
We are safe at home now. We're good.
Well, we're also asking prayers not only for the child that you messaged me about, but also for you and your team.
Thank you so much. We really needed it tonight. I'll tell you.
So this was not. This was, none. Don't get me wrong. None of them are good, but this was especially
horrible.
Bad.
Yeah, horrifying. It was one of the, I specialize with children. I take children and elderly really, really seriously. And when we get cases and calls like this for emergencies, we go. I don't care what time it is.
Yeah, it makes sense.
They have my number, so they call if they need me. So it was bad. It was attack on the child physically. So
I'm assuming if you move them to a hotel that this particular entity is associated with the property or the home and not the individuals.
It's definitely in the property. They can't, evidently, we found out that they can't keep anybody there for more than 6 months.
Okay, so you are getting a priest involved?
I've already got one on the scene.
Great. Okay. All right. I'm going to introduce you, unless you've already met him, Bill Bean.
I have not met him.
Okay. You'll love him. Bill's a great guy, and I'm sure that he'll love you. He became involved in this in very much a manner similar to you. He was older than you, but he lived in a haunted house. And it got so bad, the whole family had to move, and these things began to attack him at a rate that was unprecedented. And he eventually learned how to stand up for himself and how to hold his own footing and how to take these things on. And he is now considered one of the foremost spiritual deliverance ministers in the world. He's performed exorcisms. He's helped people. He's been on a haunting. He's been on several TV shows. And I know a lot of people think, and this is something that gets me too. People said, well, Ed and Lorraine charged for what they did. No, they didn't. They did ask for gas or toll money, I think, when they was dealing with Amityville. But they did produce television shows. And I think it was the Supernatural with Ed and Lorraine Warren. May be wrong on that. Let me tell you something. If somebody's a paranormal investigator and they find a market, and let's say that they do videos like we do, or they write books, they have a right to make a living too. Absolutely. Because every paranormal investigator that I've ever met that's worth their salt has never directly charged a client for anything. I'm not saying it's not happened. I'm just saying the ones I know, Stace, John Marshall. I don't think Ryan Buell ever charged anybody. Bill Bean has never charged anybody. Bill's a best-selling author. That's how he gets his money, and he's appeared on some of these, the haunting. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not sure that he got money out of that. But now he does make money from his books. You've got to eat. So it's okay. But I know for truth that these guys don't charge. If I called Stacy and said, can you come to me? I think this place is haunted or I'm having problems. She's going to show up here. Stacy, how much money are you going to ask for?
I spend my last dollar to get to you.
That is what I'm talking about. But by the same token, if Stacy ever writes a book on her experiences and her work, I will be the first one standing in line to purchase the book at full retail price because you know what? She has the right to make a living too.
Yeah.
Can you give us an update without giving names? We respect
Absolutely.
anonymity, but what? So once they got to the hotel room, do they seem to be okay now?
Yeah, she texted me about 5 minutes ago and said everything so far so good.
Okay.
So personally, what I feel like this going on, and I've talked about it with her, I've talked about it to the child, I've talked about it to the family. The child has a gift, and it doesn't matter how many times that you can cleanse their home. It doesn't matter. The child is going to still be seeing stuff because these things seem to be coming to her because she has this gift and they know she can see them. So she's going to have to, it's going to be hard for her to have to work on trying to figure out how that she's going to either do like I did and try to push it away, or she can just accept it and work with it. But it happens at the youngest ages. Same thing happened to me.
And you got a choice. And you learn early. You learn early.
She has to try hard if she wants to do that, because no matter what's been happening so far is they'll come to her, and they've been showing their stuff to the mother too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How about the father?
The mother too. Nope, they will not bother the father.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. We sat down and we had several discussions over this, and we've tried to, cleanse the home, and I've been there a few times, but it's like I told her, I said, I really don't think that it's going to help much. It may push away something this time, but then something else is going to come back, or today, tomorrow, we don't know.
I'm going to tell you about a little story, and it's true, and I know for a fact it happened. There was this guy. He was about 29, 30 years old, expecting his first child, and he was at home with the child's mom, and the mom at that time was, I'm going to guess, probably about 5 or 6 months along, give or take, something like that. And both of these individuals had an acquaintance with a gentleman. And a lot of people thought that he worked in the black arts, like the dark magic or the dark psychic, what you can call it, witchcraft if you want, but he didn't. Sure as hell dressed the part, but he didn't. He was a sensitive. And at first, of course, I'm like most other people. When somebody claims that, I'm like, oh, shit. Yeah. Well, let me tell you what made this guy a believer. He actually came over one night. He said, I've got a very strong feeling. I need to talk to you and your girlfriend, fiance, and it's about your child. I said, okay. So anyways, this guy comes over to their house. And he's going on about, these things are going to try to get rid of him, to influence the child to do certain things, and this and that and this and that. And I remember hearing that the mom had actually gone to the bedroom and she got this little thing of potpourri. And I don't know why, because not that anybody could smell, but the guy didn't smell like bologna or anything. But I cannot remember now for the life of me why she did this, but she brought the potpourri. No, I remember it now. The potpourri dish was sitting in clear sight in the bedroom. The door was open, and all of a sudden a blue flame came around it, just out of nowhere. And it was potpourri. That's all it was in it. And a little bit of water. And the guy that we're talking about, for the sake of argument, we'll call him James. James looked at the dad and said, this thing's after you. I said, well, what the hell does it want with me? I was working at a radio station. I said, what does it want with me? He said, you are the strength. You are the strength in this for your daughter. Sure enough. Apparently, whatever it wanted to do, it worked, because she and I didn't last. We separated. But nonetheless, I was in her life and am still to this day. And I'm very proud of who she is and who she's become. But I do remember that so distinctly. And I remember the lesson that I learned here is, just because you don't understand something doesn't make it any less real. Many times what Stace has talked to me about, I don't understand it, but I believe it, especially coming from her. I was telling folks before you got on here, Stace, about when we went to Wolf County and how you had to sit down because this thing takes such a toll on you. This gift, literally, it's like sucking the life right out of you.
It did.
And I told people that Lloyd and I had to sit there with you and kind of helped you get built back up. And once you did, you had a grasp on it, but it was still, it wore you down.
Before I even got to the parking lot, it hit me.
I was going to say.
The grief and the emotion and everything that had to just, and in that instant, I felt like I knew him. And I've had a strong bond to him ever since we went there.
You're talking about James. Dwayne.
And he has showed me several times. He has, whenever we've been doing like I showed you some of the videos that we'll do downstairs in the kitchen sometimes, and you'll see all the spirit coming through. I'll show you the
I
video.
have seen things fly through your kitchen. I'm serious. Orbs, and it's
He
not
shows
dust.
all the time. He
It's
showed up
it's
when we did one night. We did an interview with him, and asked him several questions that his family. I got onto Facebook and I said, "What questions do you want me to ask him?" And I asked, and then actually filmed it while I was trying to speak with him, and I filmed it and sent it to the family.
Do you even feel like using the portal right now?
Sure, I mean it's on and ready.
Okay, can we turn it up and maybe see if
Sure.
we can get someone through?
Yep. Yep. I
Now,
have
keep in
it.
mind, again, this is for entertainment purposes only. We cannot
Yes.
control what comes through, who comes through. We can't control any of that.
We
We have
never.
zero bearing on it. They're going to come through if they want to come through. And if they don't, there's nothing that can be done.
Hi, Chris.
Wow, right off the bat.
Do you have a message for Chris? I had something and something. Have him listen. Can you
Her
give me your
vocal tone
name?
sounds very familiar, but I'm not placing her.
Chris.
Crease. April?
Rewind and listen to that one. Yes.
Wow. We love you and miss you, April. I love you and miss you.
It says it's Chris Sloan. Wow. Did you hear that? We want to let you know that we love you. Do you know that your mom's here? Yeah.
I always try to give her enough time to respond.
You never know. A lot of
She
the time,
seems
they'll respond
okay.
while we're talking too.
I love her voice.
Very calming.
Oh, there's no doubt. She is with wings. She's an angel. She's beautiful. And she's so kind.
Is there anybody with you? And you always notice that you can always barely hear her. I've noticed this. She's such very soft tone.
She has a reassuring and a very calming tone. A very beautiful voice. It's calming.
I agree. 100%. And it's like a calming effect here right now in the room. Is there somebody there with you? So just me and somebody, yeah. Do you have a message for your mom or for Chris? We can hear you. Tell her something.
At the beginning, did she say that she wanted me to read or hear something?
Hear something?
Hear something? We know who that is.
Puppy.
Ladies and gentlemen, the boss has arrived.
The
Wow.
puppy.
Hi,
Hey, you.
Hannah.
Balloons. Something balloons. I can't read the chat from here.
Like she's
If
getting
you
it
want
stirred up.
hugs,
Yeah.
if you want hugs, we'll take them. Beautiful. Let's see. Bobby says she loves you, Hannah. Hannah Boo, she says. Did you say Hannah Boo, Hannah Beat? Love you.
It's amazing how you can make so much sense out of that so much quicker than I can.
Oh, yeah. Are you with the puppies again? And the animals? Okay. Well, it's good to hear from you tonight. They're animals.
She loves her animals.
And a bunny.
Oh, yeah.
You got a bunny? Is there anybody with you?
Well, I'm sure she has complete and total access to any animals that she would wish. God
know
made all
it.
creatures great and small, so.
You know it.
This is different.
Do you have a yeah, I got a name on that. Do you have a message for anybody? Or can you tell me what your name is? What's your name, honey? Very light. Breathy. This one's different.
That's a different one.
What's your name? Can you tell me? Your son? Do you have a message for your son? Speak to him. Are you still there? What's your name? Did I hear from you earlier today? Are you a protector?
Could we discern a name? Did you ever understand a name? That sounds like April again.
Can you give us a name? Do you have a message for somebody? Who's your message for? It's like I said Sharon at first. Yeah. Do you know who the person is that I'm online here with? Do you know his name? What's his name? Are you with Hannah? Is she with you or near you? Something said Chris. Said Chris. Have you heard your name any?
It sounds like I just did a few more, but I don't want to.
Right.
I don't want to make assumptions.
Yeah. Want to make sure I had a backup on that when I heard that.
Yeah.
We'll switch channels. Keep going through.
Okay.
Anybody else
Anything
want to
else to
talk
get
to
through?
us? Anybody want to speak with us on there?
If somebody wants to in the chat room, if you'd like to try to make a connection with, you're welcome to. I mean, as soon as I read it, if as long as I can read it, I'm sure Lloyd's watching too.
Yeah.
But as soon as we read it, we'll put it out there to Stace.
Okay, slow down. What's your name? Can you tell me what your name is? A dog.
Do you have any ideas, Stace? Because that it's not ringing a bell with me either.
It's a young male.
Yeah, I
Same
agree.
dog.
I agree.
Do we know you? I hope. Are you here for somebody in the chat room? Does anybody recognize that? Do you have a voice? Do you have a message for anybody? I can hear your voice loud and clear. Can you tell me? Hmm. Can you please tell me what your first name is? Or do you have a nickname? Sound like a man, probably 20s.
I don't recognize the vocal myself.
Sounds very country. Switch. I'm going to keep switching it up. Anybody else want to talk to us? You have a message for somebody? What's your name? The Sun. Do you have a message for somebody? Something me. Do you know Chris? Do you have a message for anybody else?
Well, it seems to have quietened down quite a bit. At least on our channel.
It's the same one. Do you have a message for somebody? My life, something I held somebody.
Yeah.
You have a special message for her? Something bless. Memories.
Yeah.
Do you have a message for somebody? Happy birthday.
Maybe somebody. My brother's birthday was yesterday. I mean, I'm sure that there's several others.
Oh, man. What's your name? Can you tell us? Something buddy or something? You see it? Do you have a message for somebody specific that you can tell me their name so I can get it to them? His name? What's his name? I went far. I'm far. I won't be far from him.
I'm not really.
I,
You too, huh?
yeah, well, let's switch channels.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to talk to us? We're going to open the portal up. What's your name? You're welcome to come through with a message for anybody that's here. Anybody recognize that one?
I can't say that I do.
Me either.
That one I know.
We'll never forget you, honey.
Yeah.
Puppy. And she's back. Are you excited tonight? See something about balloons again. She's seen that. Did you see some balloons today? Love you all.
She is just so great.
Beautiful. Beautiful bunny.
She does love her animals, yes.
You know, it's funny that children go like that where it's beautiful. She talks about bunnies and animals and balloons and
Things that she loves.
do you have a new doggy up there? Do you love him? What's his name? Can you tell me the new doggy's name that you're with? I believe you. Yeah. Okay. Do you have a doggy up there with you? We've got animals. Yes, I do. I have bunnies here on my property too. Yeah, bunnies. Can you tell me the doggies' names that are around you? Goodness. Sounds like there's like 3 people behind her trying to get in to say something. Come in. Did you hear
Well, they
that?
all need good luck for that one then.
Right. She said they've had enough. Is it your turn? What animals are around you? Ovulus will be in the 25th. It is
that's
the
not far off
25th.
away.
It is made and almost completed and ready to go. And like,
So on the episode of the 28th, we should be able to use it.
yeah, we'll be taking that somewhere. We'll be coming live on that one.
That's going to be awesome.
You going to come with us, little girl? Are you going to be the voice behind us? Love you. I am going. We don't doubt it a bit.
Oh, she'll be right there.
Okay, I'm going to shuffle it, sweetheart, and see if anybody else wants to say anything. You're more than welcome to come back through. Is there anybody else that wants to make contact and talk to us? That sounds like maybe a little older than her. What's your name, honey? Can you tell me what your name is? It's almost sound like he said my sister. Do you have a message for your sister? Well, I don't know if it's a little boy or a little girl. Possibly a little boy,
It's
a
hard
little
to
older.
distinguish the difference at such a young age.
I swear you can hear the country accent.
Oh, yeah.
That's what surprises me every time.
I think who we are in this life bleeds over to who we are in the next one.
Absolutely. Do you have a message, honey? Something spirit.
I keep getting.
Turn this mic around. Kentucky. Are you going to tell somebody? Were you from Kentucky? Did I hear you right? Do you have a message for anybody here? Look at Seth, maybe. This one's a chatterbox too. I've noticed the young ones are really, really chatterboxy. Can you tell me what your name is? Something dad. Do you have a message for your dad? Family. They were mean to him. Can you tell us what happened to you? First thing came to my mind was that boy in the box. Did you hear that? Yeah. Something about the box and the mean to me.
Yeah, I did.
I was thinking about that.
An episode featured him not very long ago.
Mommy and something. Something hit him or something. He said hit.
Wow.
Did someone hit you, sweetheart? My mommy and my father would say sacrifice. This is going to be emotional. I can already tell. This is just a little bit of what I go through with this.
I'm almost convinced it's a young boy. Almost convinced of it. His vocal tone, probably not much more than
6, 7.
Yeah, he's young. He's young.
Did your mommy hurt you, honey?
Anderson says, could that be the boy they found in Vegas suitcase in the woods?
Can you see him? Ellie?
No, sorry, what name?
Ellie? Mom and my sis. Something, then his mom and his sis.
Wait a minute. The boy in the box, didn't his mother put him in the woods and with assistance from his sister?
I believe you're right. Let me turn it back up.
Sure.
This is crazy.
In the woods. Yes. Did somebody put you in a box and then drop you in the woods? Something my sister. If that happened to you, we're so sorry. You know, you can always come and talk to me anytime you want to. It's all about love here. Shade. Shade. And then I went under. I was going under. It's awful. So they yelled son at him.
Ask him who hurt him.
Who hurt you? Can you tell us who hurt you? Family? Naked.
He was in the box naked.
Touched.
Were you known as the boy in the box after you crossed over?
Yep. Yes.
I just got chills.
My sis. So they said if you don't do this, we'll hurt you or something.
That was his sister. His mother had threatened her. If you don't help me with this, I will do the same or worse to you.
Jeez.
The woman was a pure, raw bitch. Pennsylvania, Teresa. It happened in Pennsylvania.
Said something was somebody said he was ornery.
His extensively beaten body was found on the side of Susquehanna Road. This happened in Philadelphia, or just outside of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, on February 25th, 1957. And he was beaten profusely.
Is this what happened to you? And it was dark.
He was between 6 and 7 years of age. He was wrapped in a plaid blanket, otherwise completely naked.
Something. Can't talk. Something now. He kept saying her did this. Her.
Well, she tried to tell the cops that he tripped in the bathtub.
My mom something did something. Mom was upset. Hit my legs. And something tub. Mommy something. I think Mommy is the one that did this. Put out cigarette on.
Yes, Martha, his mother is dead, to the best of my knowledge. And yes, there were cigarette burns located on his body. Legs, arms, other places. His mother had bought him as a sex toy. Literally bought him.
I was beaten.
Can you tell me your name?
Daniel. Mommy said it was Daniel.
She call him what she want to. She bought him.
Crease. There was snakes and something in there, he said. Mommy and Daddy was gone now. Sacrifice. I was a sacrifice.
And sacrifice. To what ends or what means?
And I was naked and something, Paul. He said, you sound like you're a girl. They told him he was a girl.
Well, at first they had a little bit of problem distinguishing it, so I read. I don't.
Just know that we are so sorry this happened to you, and you're always in love and light here.
Hey, buddy.
For 3 years.
About 3 years.
We'll be your family now, okay? You can trust us. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's a picture. Can't see it on the computer.
We love you, buddy.
Is that a picture of you? Can't help but think Hannah pulled that one through.
Quite possibly. Let me see here. That's not what I want. Hang on there, guys. I'm trying to pull something up for you to see, and it should become pretty evident somewhere in this neighborhood here. Can y'all see that? I don't have the ability to monitor it on my end. That's the picture of the boy in the box.
Wow, I cannot believe
Let's see.
this. Everything
Hang on.
that he said.
Tell him I'm sorry. I had to feel for a second.
All right, I'm going to turn it back up for a minute. You still with us, Daniel? Said he was a brat. I'm so sorry.
I'd love to meet his daddy for 10 minutes. I'd show him what a brat's about.
That's all. Said he fell, and every night they said he would fall. All the I know it's not easy for you to come through. I know it's hard. Yes, it was.
Can't let me know how many would come out. Of course. He was found in 1998, 47 years after. He says, and that's awful. Well, just know that you're in a place of love now. You're surrounded by people who you can come to and talk to here.
That's absolutely true.
And I'm going to definitely finish that whenever we close here and see if I can help him in any way.
All right. Well, we have been at it for about 92 minutes now, so we're going to go ahead and step on out. We hope everybody will check out the podcast itself. Like I said tonight, it's going to be a great episode. Next week will be a great episode. And again, a special thanks to everybody at Georgetown Toyota that is watching the Mountain Mysteries. Georgetown Toyota Manufacturing, Shelby Conley, and a big special thank you to Little Divas Balloon Decorating, who without fail is sponsoring this, and to everybody else that comes in and watches it. And a huge thanks to Stace, you, Lloyd, your team. What you guys do is remarkable. And the fact that you will come out at any time to help anybody in any possible way you can, I really think that God's going to put extra jewels in your crown for that. I really do.
I hope so.
Because these things are real and they're not playing. You know this. So let's, again, what was the child's name involved? Just her first name is fine.
Kelsey.
Kelsey. Let us pray for Kelsey for deliverance. And let's pray for the priest that's involved. Let's pray for the Father in heaven to give him the strength and the power he needs to put an end to whatever it is that's plaguing that family, and to keep Stacy, Lloyd, and everyone else with 606 Paranormal or anyone else involved at all. Let us pray for them, okay? So, guys, with that being said, and on behalf of Stace, I'm Chris, and we will see you next Thursday, good Lord willing, right here on the Mountain Mysteries Gatherings. And if you've not, please like and subscribe and share the Mountain Mysteries podcast. Stace, I love you.
Love you.
And tell Lloyd he's got my respect and all of my best.
Love you. Love
He
you.
says love you.
Love you guys too. Have a good night, everybody. Have a good night. Remember, keep setting that bar. You are more than good enough. You are just the way God intended you, and that is perfect. I love you guys. Until next week, stay mysterious.